Good. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, we're doing this again. Today we're going to talk about budgets as it relates to salary negotiations. Now, why in the world would you need a budget if you're going to go walk into an operation, an interview, an offer? Why would you need a budget? That's not a rhetorical question. Why would you need a budget?
You need to know how much everything's going to cost.
Right.
For you to live.
Right, exactly. You need to know what the cost of living is of the area that you're moving into. Do you know what the cost of living is of the area that you're moving into? Do you know it? Okay? So do you know what you need in order to, quote, survive or even have a quality of life? Okay? Or are you just going to go there, accept the salary, and work 9 to 5, 8 to 5, 9 to 9, however many hours that they're going to give you, and the only thing that you do is go to work and go home? Because that's all you can afford. So budgeting puts you in a category based on a living amount, a dollar amount, that can help you identify those particular occupations, those particular jobs that pay X and you need X. But if they pay Y and you need X, then you need to figure out how you can get Y, or how you can get X if they're paying Y, okay? And that comes in conversations. How many of you have ever negotiated a salary? What'd you do?
This summer for my internship, they asked me basically what I needed for like a weekly stipend. So I negotiated and I'll give a price based off of like how much I was driving to get there.
Okay. So you had a budget. You had an idea of what you needed, right? Was it something that was above and beyond what you needed, or they just paid for what you needed?
Essentially, they just paid for what I needed and
Okay.
a little bit extra.
Most stipends are along that way. Okay. But when you graduate from college, you're going to need a salary that is more than what you, quote, need, okay? Because you want to be able to save, you want to be able to have a quality of life that enables you to travel or buy things or whatever the case may be, okay? As opposed to just living expenses, okay? So you negotiated a salary basically for a stipend. Who else? Yes?
So I've worked as a waitress in DC for the past like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And I've also worked as a hostess, and they said that the starting salary was like $9 an hour, but they said like the more experienced you are, like you can get up to $11 an hour, and I was like, okay, well,
I'm more experienced.
4 years, and
So I need $13.
so I got 11,
Oh, okay.
11.50 an hour.
Okay, you got 50 cents more than what they were even saying. That's good.
That's awesome.
That's good. Plus tips.
Yes,
Okay.
that's awesome.
And you were so good at your job that the tips more than made up for whatever hourly, right? Okay. Good deal. I love those $1,000 tips. Those are great. All right, who else? Anybody else? All right, well, by the end of this class, I hope you're going to have confidence to be able to speak up. You're going to be nervous. You may even feel like you're going to throw up, but do that before you go into the interview or the offer conversations, okay? That way you feel better. Everybody feels better after they throw up, you know, I feel better, okay. Now I can go in there and I can talk about money, okay? So let's talk about the budget, okay? And that's why I have this whiteboard over here. Good job on putting the camera over there so that we can see this, okay? So, when you talk about a budget, and you can get these online, these budgeting worksheets and everything, just look them up, okay? So when you talk about, boy, every one of these but this isn't mine, so I won't do it. If it doesn't work, I throw it away. So I have this bucket over here with a lot of pins. Just keep going in. All right, so what goes in a budget?
How much you're making?
Huh?
How much you're making?
No.
See?
Expenses only.
Okay.
We're going to figure out how much we need to make, okay? So, what is it? What's the biggest part? Rent.
Night.
That too. Is somebody else paying the rent or something? Okay. Okay, rent or mortgage, right? Okay, that's big. What's next? Okay, what kind?
Cell phone.
Cell phone.
Water.
Utilities?
Okay, don't get too fast on me. Water, utilities,
Transportation,
like in what?
well, gas, metro.
Okay, so metro or car, gas, hang on a second. Insurance, these are all under transportation, right? All right? And if you're in a city, you may not have a car. You may just have metro. Hold on one second. You may just have metro. But if you have a car, you definitely got to have gas, right? And if you have a car, you definitely have to have insurance, right? Okay? But you might want to have insurance on other things, but this is specific to transportation. All right, what else?
Food.
Huh? Food. You got to eat
Clothes.
to live.
Priorities.
What else?
Clothes,
Clothes,
especially like if you have to be in a professional
right?
clothing setting every day.
Right?
You can't just casually just throw on a t-shirt.
That's exactly right. Okay? What else?
If you work at Google, I mean.
Okay, so internet or what I call access, right? Okay? What else? Come on, think.
Run that ideas.
Huh?
Run that ideas.
No way, man, we can just go on and on.
Well, wouldn't that be under rent though? I
Say
guess?
again?
Well, that's
Emergencies.
under the like.
Okay, I'm gonna put emergencies, okay?
No.
Spotify.
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 Okay, entertainment, okay.
Sit at home and do nothing all day.
Netflix is now $12.99.
That's wild. I don't want to talk
I don't even know this fella, but I already got my degree in that.
Spotify.
Okay.
Combined
If
is
you have
still
pets,
cheaper.
Huh?
pets, if you have them.
Haircuts,
Okay.
nails.
We're living the
Am
life.
an
guys.
Say nails.
Okay,
It's nails.
Insurance,
okay, insurance outside of this,
Girls gotta get their
Okay.
nails done.
you can be a good husband.
what else? Coffee, I can put that up here, coffee.
Medical,
Okay, medical, good,
Oh, we have to actually, what if we die? That's good.
okay, what else? You guys are forgetting the biggest thing.
taxes.
Huh?
Taxes?
Taxes,
Anna.
Yeah.
okay? Why in the world are you forgetting taxes? That's the first thing that comes out of your check.
That fall on.
Does it not? I mean, you don't even see it.
Yeah.
You guys think that you're making X and you're actually making Y because the federal government and the state and local governments take out the taxes. All right, you got to figure that in. And also, folks, don't forget that. Okay? Don't forget the tithe. Okay? And then
You know what that is?
what I call retirement
Tithing.
or investments.
401k.
Okay, 401k, 403bs. I can go over all the 401s. They're all out there. Okay? All right, this is just some. When you go to the internet and you find a budget worksheet, it may have all of these and more. Okay? And you can most certainly find a lot of other things, but essentials, I think this is pretty much it. Okay, so give me a city. Somebody give me a city that they want to go live in. Washington, D.C.
Newark.
All right, I'm not going to do Washington, D.C. yet.
Newark.
Okay? Because whatever city we pick, Washington, D.C. is going to be double.
No, that's not true.
Newark.
Yes.
I'm getting married and we're actually moving to the outskirts of Cleveland.
Cleveland. All right, let's do Cleveland. This is a budget for Cleveland.
We ever
Might as well get Browns to.
I don't even know how to spell Cleveland.
I don't know.
It's Cleve.
C-L-E-V-E-L-A.
Okay, we'll leave Cleve. All right, Cleve.
There it is.
All right. Now, everybody in here is going to Cleveland.
Oh, goodness.
All right?
Okay.
Nobody wants to.
Get my.
All right. So what's the average rent in Cleveland for a 2-bedroom
Oh, you
condo, townhouse, hotel?
A hotel? Is that what you said?
That's what I said. Because you gotta get there, right? And you may not have a place.
$8.99 a month.
Huh?
$8.99 a month.
So 900 bucks.
Allowed.
What did I say DC was?
Well, the one I found.
DC's double, right? So you got $900, all right?
I just found the first
So
one.
what's a cell phone? You need a cell phone for yourself. I'm not talking about for your spouse. Your spouse can pay for it himself or herself. All right, so this is a cell phone plan for yourself. What is it?
Well, it depends what you need.
What do you need?
15 months.
Mine's
Huh?
like 180.
50?
Mine's like 180.
All right, so if you watch TV, who watches TV? Okay, if you watch TV, you see ads, and they say $50 a month. But what does that mean really? Because you got to add the fees and the taxes and everything that they want you to pay for, but don't reveal. So if it's $50 a month, it's $75 a month.
It depends on what
Taxes and
what
fees.
you said.
Okay.
Some of there's a little-
Utilities and water can go together because sometimes it's going to be gas, gas, electric, sewage, water, trash pickup. It could be all combined. It depends on what you're. So I want you to kind of combine all the utilities and essentials of your house. What do you think it's going to be? Electric.
This says 101 for one person in a studio, and then for 2 people, it's 147, so it's probably in the middle, so like 120 maybe,
For what?
for gas, electricity, heating.
So about $150 a month.
Lots of free TVs in this book.
Okay.
It really is.
Is that good for winter? We're talking Cleveland here, folks.
It doesn't get that cold in Cleveland.
It gets
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got what is called lake effect snow, which people actually use their back doors as refrigerators because the snow is so high. They open up the back door and carve out little shelves, and that's where they put everything.
This budget has 5 padded.
Okay, so I would probably increase this to 200. Okay, because if you're in San Antonio, woohoo, Texas, you have air conditioning in the summer, just as long as you have heating in the winter in Cleveland. Okay, so let's say this is about $200. All right, so let's figure out our transportation. And let's say that we already own the car. All right, I don't expect you to go out, hey, I got a job and I now have a $400 lease on a new Mercedes. All right, forget about the lease, forget about anything that's associated with buying a car. Let's say you own the car. How many of you own your car? Okay, so there's no payments on it except maintenance, right? We have emergencies, which includes maintenance,
I'm still paying for it.
right? I think we put it up there.
What? 3 months?
I thought we did. Anyway,
2015.
so let's just talk about maintaining the car. So we don't have to buy a new one, we're just talking about maintaining the car. So hopefully you're going to get a place that's within reasonable distance to your job, right? If you're in New York City, it's $2.50 Metro, either way. Going to work, coming back. And if you're driving, $5 of gas will get you anywhere from 2 to possibly 3 gallons, depending on how much it costs. That can get you to and back one day. So you figure, yes,
Well, what do you say is like a reasonable distance for people to travel for work? Like how many miles would that be?
what's reasonable for you?
Yeah, Alex.
I mean, I guess 15 would be like my max.
15 miles?
15 to 20 away.
15, 20 miles? I drove 45 miles each way when I was living in Austin, Texas. 45 miles each way. And sometimes the traffic was so bad, I was on the road for an hour and a half. 45 miles. That's nuts. Cleveland's pretty packed interior. But I think a good 10 to 15 miles away max is pretty good. That's about a 30-minute, possibly 30, 40-minute drive. Okay? At 15 minutes. You spend a lot of time on the road, or on the train, or in the taxi, or whatever. So you figure, okay, so let's figure it's $5 a day. And you work an average of 20 days, it's actually 22 and a half, but 20 days a month. All right, what does that give you? 20 days, $5 a day? Come on, $100 in gas. Okay? Yes, we all took Math 101. All right. So insurance, how much is your, who's over 26? And who's paying for their own insurance right now? One person. All right. If you are on your parents' insurance and you're not 26, stay on it. Mom, Dad, please. Until I turn 26 or 27. That's when that price break comes in, and you're able to actually not pay the outrageous amount. But if you're paying for insurance, it's going to be at least about $150 a month if you're paying for it by yourself and you're under 26 years old. You can get it a lot less as long as you don't have any accidents and you turn 26. Okay? So you figure 150. Where are we at right now?
A lot of money.
900, 1100, 1200, 1350. We're at 1350. Okay? We're at 1350 right now. Now food. What do you think food is on a monthly basis? Have you ever even thought about this? Okay? What do you think food is? What is it on, let's break it down. Let's eat this elephant one at a time. All right? What is it on a daily basis? How much food can you eat in a day?
It depends. Like, you're looking at, like, you go $5 a day, probably, if you shop, like, grocery shop.
Okay, so there's 30 days in a month.
Sure.
So that's $150, right? So you can live off $150 and
I mean, if you
mooch
shop-
off other people,
I mean,
right?
Yes.
I guess.
Okay, so we're going to say it's about $150 a month.
Both meals.
Okay? Now, understand this. That does not include going out to eat. All right? Unless you go to McDonald's and you get the $4.99 special,
Hey, they got good.
and that's the only thing you eat that day. Okay? So grocery shopping is going to be very, very key in doing the $150 budget. But you should be able to live off a $150 budget and make sure your employer provides bagels and all this other kind of stuff.
Bagels every single
Okay? And coffee. Who said coffee? We got to have coffee. All right. All right, clothes. What do you think your monthly budget is going to be for clothes?
Wait for Christmas.
It is different for male, female. Guaranteed. A guy can wear a suit until it shreds off him. I've seen it. I have 3 boys, I know. Okay? But a woman just absolutely refuses to wear the exact same thing in a month. There's going to be a different piece of clothing that everybody can identify and really understand for every day of the month. Okay? I highly recommend that you don't do that. Mix and match, and you'll be able to save some money. Okay? I have someone in my office that absolutely does not wear the same thing, and she's been in my office since December.
Dang.
Okay? So imagine that clothing bill for somebody. It may not necessarily be you, okay? But let's say you need to buy clothes. What would you say is a good annual budget? $1,000, so you break that up, it's about, what, $80 a month? Right? About $80 a month. You can buy some things, $80 a
At
month.
Walmart.
Go shop at Sam's Club.
Let's just make it 100, because I like round numbers.
Well, true.
Okay? $100 a month. Okay? Nordstrom's? Maybe not. Okay? Internet access.
Oh, you gotta get good internet. You have to.
Okay, we know the gamers in that.
I'm not
Gotta have that high speed
Can't
stuff.
handle slow internet.
Okay? Gotta have the internet access. Gotta be able to watch Fox News.
Netflix.
What would it be?
30, 40.
Let's make it an even 50. Gotta remember the taxes. Okay? We're not gonna do retirement yet. Emergency. here's your plan for emergency. You want to have a $1,000 emergency fund. So you need to throw money into it to get to that 1,000. Okay? If you wanted to do it in a year, throw $100 at it. You'll have it done in a year.
75, that's really high.
Okay? So let's say your emergency fund is $100. What would you use your emergency fund for?
Car repairs.
Car repairs, a tire, tow, okay? But if you use it, if you have that $1,000 and you use some of it, what do? Replace it, replenish it, okay? Keep that $1,000, okay? But there's also another emergency,
Uh-oh.
and it is unemployment, okay? Remember I said the average time on a job is 3 to 5 years? And sometimes it's no fault of yours as to why the job went away, okay? You need to have at least 6 months of living expenses, because for every $10,000 of salary, that's how many months it takes to find that next job. So if you're looking for a $60,000 job, it's going to take about 6 months to go through all the processes, the application, the interview, this onboarding, et cetera, and obviously the look. So how do you get up to 6 months worth of living expenses? Well, I don't want you to put that in this budget now. Get started on the job first. And let's see how much money we have left over. Remember salary negotiation. All right? All right, entertainment. There is none. No, I'm just kidding. What is entertainment? Entertainment includes going out to eat.
Brownies, because
Okay.
yes, we have to go watch football sometime.
Those are cheap.
What would you say entertainment would be? Movies? $50 a month? Okay? $50 a month, and rely on other people to take you places. For at least the first year, right? All right. Who wants animals? Someone? Okay. You want pets? All right. Pets are
I need my
expensive.
cat. I'm sorry.
All right.
Scratch the pets.
I'm going to leave pets out for this right now. Let's see if you have the money to have a pet.
We don't.
Okay? You may just need a snake who only eats a rat every other month. Okay. Insurance. What kind of insurance?
We don't need it.
The general.
We don't need the general.
What kind of insurance?
All state.
Medical insurance. Absolutely. Medical insurance. If your job, and understand this, if your job has the benefit, a lot of times they pay for it for you. And you have to pay for your dependents, your spouse, your kids, and so on and so forth. But your job will pay your premium for you. All right? That's part of salary negotiations. Okay? So I'm actually going to leave insurance and medical out. But there's also life insurance. And there's also housing or rent or content insurance, okay, renter's insurance. And it all depends on how much you have. If you don't have a lot of stuff, you don't have to worry about renter's insurance. If you don't have a lot of debt, you don't have to worry about life insurance. But as you start to build a family, you will. Yes?
Okay, I understand why we're leaving like animals and stuff like that out, but why are we leaving medical out?
Because your job's paying for it,
Okay,
okay?
but like, for the e-businesses and stuff like that?
Yes, if you,
Co-pays and everything?
well, the co-pays, how often do you go to the doctor? A lot, okay. Well, then you have to budget that in if you go to the doctor a lot.
Okay.
But the reason why insurance is so low for individuals who are in their 20s is because they don't go to the doctor a lot. So who wins? The insurance companies. Thank you very much for all those premiums. All right? But the company pays for the most part.
Because, yeah, my dad was like really big with insurance, but co-pays for like a regular doctor's visit is still like $25.
Right, 20, 25 bucks. But you know, my kids, I only have one that has been to the doctor in the past 10 years. So, you know, it's just, it's one of those things. Okay? So, you just got to, if you do have medical situations where you know you're going to pay, that needs to be included. But for right now, as long as the company is paying for it, it's not coming out of your pocket. As far as for the insurance, the copay is a different story. That could come out of emergencies,
Oh, okay.
okay? If you're paying a $20 copay, just replenish that $20, okay? So these two right here we're going to leave off, and medical we're going to leave off. But here, is what we need to remember, okay? I want you to think of 20% of your salary is going to go to taxes.
Boo.
20%.
I'm here.
So, we will backfill this once we figure out. And then at least 10%,
Opposed? Thanks.
at least 10% needs to be addressed for our tires. Now, the way Dave Ramsey has it is live today like no other so that one day you can live like no other. Okay? What does that mean? Live today like no other so that one day you can live like no other. What does that mean?
Make sacrifice now.
Make sacrifices now to build so that you don't need a lot of insurance and safety net stuff so that one day you can buy the things that you want, give the way you want to give. How many of you have ever been in a church and there was a need, a special need that popped up, and if only you had the money, you would give? Okay? So if you're living today like no other, you're able to save and build a nest egg, etc. And then when that need pops up, guess what? That gift of giving all of a sudden just starts to go. And God provides that for you. So let's look at this. What do we have? We got 975, so roughly this is about 1,000. Okay? I always round up. So 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, 1,800, 1,900, roughly $2,000 it takes to live in Cleveland.
That makes me sad.
Okay? Not including taxes
It's not terrible, but it's okay. You know,
and not including tithe. So $2,000, you're writing those checks or doing those online transactions. And this does not include credit cards, folks. Okay? So don't get in that mess. All right? Don't get in that mess. If you're going to use a credit card, make sure you can pay it off at the end of the month. Okay? So let's figure that out. $2,000 is roughly it's about $24,000 a year. That's how much you're paid. All right? That's how much you're paid. So obviously you got to have that coming in. So what's backing in? 20% is going to be taken out, and you still going to have $24,000 left. Someone do the math. It's about $30,000.
that's right.
Okay? But then you have this. And 10% on the total. So it's about $33,000. Folks, $33,000 break even.
Well, it's not terrible.
Hate to throw another item in there, but how about school loans?
Oh yeah, you guys don't have school loans.
$80,000.
You took this presentation before, and you don't have school loans, right? Well, if you have school loans, guess what school loans are? It's $125 per $10,000. Who has $10,000? Raise your hand. Everybody, raise your hand. Come on, we're all family here. 10,000. Who has 20?
Oh, debt. I
Yeah.
thought we were saying
At
pocket.
least 10,000.
Oh,
At least 10,000. At least 20.
You suck.
At least 30, at least 40, and if you're in med school, you have 120. Okay? $125 for every 10,000. That's how much you're going to pay. Okay? So we figured what? 20,000? No, the average is about 30. Isn't it the average about 30,000 right now? So if you look at that, that's $375 a month. Okay? So we just increase this. You figure 300 is 36, about 4,000. So we need to bump this up to about 37,000 if you have school loans. Okay? Break even. You need to be able to live and have a quality of life. So what percentage of that would you think is able to invest for retirement? What percentage of that are you wanting to invest in yourself, maybe savings or whatever the case may be, and be able to buy some things? Maybe even you need a car. You're in a Cleveland, and Cleveland doesn't have the metros that DC has, or New York. So you do need a car. And your car's a clunker, and about all 4 wheels are about to fall off. All right? So what do? You can't just keep repairing it. You got to get a new car or a used car or whatever the case may be. So you got to tack that in. And you won't be able to do it if this is all you take home. So we're already at 37,000, right? And my suggestion is to bump that about 20%, and that's a good starting salary to shoot for whatever position that you're going to go for. Now, does your major or does the occupations within your major warrant that kind of pay? Okay? If it doesn't, then you got to readjust some of your budget. Okay? You got to look at the market. So when you're out there and you're researching out occupations that are popping up, especially within the geographies, and remember, DC, that's double.
2,000 is just like rent.
Yeah, it's just rent for like a day. A day. But you literally can get spend $600-700 on a hotel a night in DC. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's what you can do. So you figure on 20%, which is about $7,000. Okay? So about 42,000, 44,000. Okay, 42 to 44,000. Yes.
Would you want to shoot for like 50,000 though, to like account for like savings and like retirement?
Well, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Okay, is 7,000 would include savings, retirement, et cetera. That's above and beyond the break-even point.
Okay.
Okay, so this is your quality of life number. Each one of you will have a different quality of life number. Okay, you got to figure it out based on the geography. Okay, because it could go up, especially in New York and DC and Dallas and et cetera. And it could go down if you're going to Dime Box, Texas. Like way down. All right? If you made $37,000 in Dime Box, Texas, you're going to pocket about 20 of it because you're living in Cornfield, Texas. Okay? Believe me, I know. I got a ticket there once. All right? So, I help the local economy. How do you talk about this in an interview? Well, you don't necessarily talk about it in an interview, you talk about it at the offer. Okay? So now we're going to talk about that conversation. All right? So, I'm the hiring manager, and I'm giving you a call, and you come into my office, because I never give an offer over the phone. Some people do, especially if they're long distance. But I like to do it face to face, because I want to see your reaction. And it's hard to see. I can see a smile over the phone, but I can't see if you're disappointed sometimes. Okay? So, you're interviewing